Hi, welcome to Carousel. I'm your host, Scott Albertson. We're on location tonight, doing something a little different. We're actually in Wilton, Connecticut. And as you can hear behind me, we have live jazz, which happens here every Wednesday night from 6 to 9. And it's terrific. I encourage you to come out. There's not much of this around anymore. There's not this kind of venue and forum to come out and hear live music, especially within this area, meaning Southern Connecticut. So we're here tonight to not only support the establishment, we'll also support the community and also get the word out about this kind of venue with this kind of music. So welcome to Carousel. My name is Scott Albertson. I'm your host, and we're at Wilton Pizza in Wilton, Connecticut, also known as Wilton Jazzeria. And as you can hear, we have a quintet behind me. Sorry, a quartet. This particular venue and this weekly jazz forum has been going on since 1993. And I was here last week, and I was so taken with what was happening and with the generosity, because there's no charge for the music here. It is purely for the love of the art form, meaning music, and sharing it with the customers. And also the local community, because being outside, the music just radiates out in the community, out in this whole area, because it's a small commons area for shopping. So it truly is the idea of sharing the love of music and sharing the art form. So please take a ride with me on the Carousel of Life at Wilton Pizza here tonight in Wilton, Connecticut, and weekly jazz.
We have a young audience here this evening, so because of that, this next tune goes out to you, young audience. Raise your hand if you're a young audience. Yeah. Thank you. That's Matt on sax, Steve on guitar, Phil on the bass, and yours truly, Joey on the drums. Sesame Street the way it should have been played, right? And recorded.
We're at Wilton Jazzeria in Wilton, Connecticut. And this gentleman sitting with me here is the owner, Matt Criscuolo.
Criscuolo.
You have the bassist right here, Mr. Phil Bowler. Joey Di Grazia on the drummers here, and then of course Mr. Stephen Blum, who is the guitarist. And the fellows are taking a break. Well, they just did their first set. They're manging, as they say, in Italiano. So we're going to talk a little bit about Matt, first of all. How long have you been doing this here at Wilton Pizzeria?
1993.
1993. Have you had the restaurant since 93?
Yes.
And you started doing jazz like that summer, correct?
Well, probably around 93, 94.
And it's pretty much just the better weather time of year that you're doing. Right.
We're relegated to outside.
Right.
And then comes winter time, as soon as it starts to get a little too cold, that's it. We're done. And we might bring it over to Piccolo in Ridgefield. Again, we'll try maybe. But Wilton Pizza is a special kind of vibe. We can play uninhibited. We don't have to worry about the volume.
Sure.
And the people have been supportive and happy to be here. So
sure.
It's nice.
It's very nice. And unfortunately, we all know this, and not just as musicians, but it's also, there's not a lot of this out there anymore in the general public, in the sense of restaurants or venues to play where you can go out and really just air it out, so to speak, just put the music out there. And this is a wonderful platform for that because you have your customers. And P.S., meaning Matt does this, the music, no charge for it, and it's purely for the customer's enjoyment, which is truly for the love of the music and sharing it with the customers coming in. So that's really terrific.
Yeah.
But it sets you apart and the restaurant apart because there isn't a lot of this out there.
Unfortunately, I guess. I every time you say that, a part of me agrees with you, and a part of me doesn't want to accept it.
Right.
You know, it's, I don't know. I hear a lot of people saying it, so there must be a lot of truth in it.
There is a lot of truth in it.
I've said it myself, but I don't want to believe it.
I know. But that's why you're doing this, for example, and that's what sets you apart. Anytime you have a business, pizzeria, Jazzeria, I don't care if it's a doctor's office or a limousine service or you're an office building cleaning service, the whole concept of what you do as a business owner is to figure out a way of what you are and how you integrate a little piece of you into the business that creates the dynamic, the personal dynamic of what now sets you apart from any other business out there. And that's what you've done here.
Yeah.
Not only as a musician, as a saxophonist, but also as a business owner and a restaurateur.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that that's what was happening, but that happened. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, because you're now instilling part of what your heart and soul is, and sharing it with these fellows, with Phil, Joey, and Steven. And you guys come together, you make music every week, you have a good time, you're having a lot of fun, you leave here, you got a big smile on your face because you're happy.
It's definitely unique.
Yeah.
I mean, this is definitely unique. And years ago when I first met Matthew, he had just opened Piccolo Pizza up in Richfield, and had a music theme to it. And we got to meet him and the staff. And then grabbed on it was one of his first CDs. I went, wow. I said, where do you come from? You know? And he told me his background. And being a music educator for most of my career, I took to that. And as I said, there aren't many places at all.
No.
This is very unique.
No, they're not. And whether it be in New York City or whether it be here, there's just not a lot of this out there.
No.
So this is part of the reason why when I was here visiting last week, because Phil and I had met in the city, and the whole idea was to come here, and then I came and met you, and I saw and took it all in and said, hey, why don't we do the show from here? And that's why now we're here. Because Carousel is truly a show of support, and this is terrific because it's not only local, community-minded, but it's also an art form within itself. It's an art form of the food, and it's an art form of music. And you're blending the both.
It's true. I taught a lot of jazz, in my school, having jazz ensembles and things, but to find places to take the kids that were local were impossible. Everything was 50 miles away down in the city.
Right.
So, to have places like this now to bring students. In fact, about 9 years ago, I actually did bring my jazz ensemble here and played out here many years ago. We had like 14 pieces set up. So, they came cheap. A couple of pizzas. But it was great. We had a wonderful time. The parents came and stuff like that. And,
sure. For the folks that don't know at home, Fat Cat is a jazz club down in the village, down in Greenwich Village in New York City. It's almost like an underground jazz club. It's really, really hip.
Yeah, some famous people have been playing there.
Absolutely.
Like Frank West has been playing there semi-regularly. And there's other people that show up there from now and then. So it's established in its own way, but it's a different kind of venue than your regular type of jazz club. Yeah.
It reminds me to a certain degree of Smalls Jazz Club. If you've ever been to Smalls.
Without the ping pong. Without the ping pong and the pool tables and the backgammon and the table hockey and
yeah, exactly. Which is what Fat Cat is. Well, it's got all that going on. Yeah.
The guy that used to run, one of the owners of Smalls, used to run the jazz room at Fat Cat, which was a separate room.
Okay.
And name players were playing there, people from all over the world. And then the guy moved back over to where Smalls is now, and he took everybody with him, And so the owner of Fat Cat now decided to break down the wall to the jazz room, and now that's what happened.
This big room, yeah.
So now it's just this big open space.
Open space, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. And so, yeah, we're playing jazz, and college students are playing games. I mean, but they listen. Some of them come there. I mean, it's a cheap date. And so you see people from all over the world. They pay, $3 to get in, and they hear some jazz. And there are good players playing.
Very good players.
There are good players playing at Fat Cat.
Yes.
That's the thing. I mean, because, there's just not that many places around anymore.
No, unfortunately. Which was part of the conversation we had at the beginning.
I mean, I'm glad these guys are willing to play there with me. But, the reason I like Fat Cat I can do steps. No, I'm just. I don't know, Phil. Did you ever see me do that? Yeah, when we would play in the mambo, when I'd get up and start dancing with my guitar. See, I don't know if you can do that at the Village Vanguard.
I saw Monk do it.
They might look at you and say, "Man, this guy's a rock and roll guy." I mean, that's what happened to me when the first time I played in Birdland when I was a kid. I was 15, 16 years old, and we used to have a band of teenagers that played with the original Birdland. And so I'm walking in there one Sunday afternoon with my guitar, and the famous doorman, Pee Wee Marquette, sees me, and he says, "We don't want no rock and roll in here." Excuse me, I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Now,
I'll be back.
How long? Matt had mentioned primarily been doing jazz here on Wednesday nights since 1993.
Yeah.
How long have you all been together doing it? Meaning Joey and Phil and Steve.
Phil and Steve.
This year.
Yeah, this year, right?
Just this year?
And I recently retired, and I basically asked Matt if I can come in and just sit in.
Okay.
And we went on from there.
Okay.
But as I tell these guys all the time, because me doing this every week is new.
Right.
And so I feel it a privilege to come and play with these musicians.
Sure.
And I tell Dr. Phil over here that these are my classes, these are my grad classes.
Sure. Sure.
I learn a lot from these guys, and
it's the lab.
They only touch the iceberg of the experience of especially these two men here.
Sure.
Of the experience and the knowledge that they have.
Sure. Matt is waiting in the wings, so I think it's time to get up and do another set of music.
This is fun and interesting. I hate to do it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. So we're going to close this piece of the show down, so to speak, so the gentlemen can go back and sing for or play for their supper, so to speak. So thank you for talking with us.
I want to thank you for doing a show like you did. Off camera, we were talking about how important a show like yours is.
Thank you.
It is so important. It is really important. I met my wife in Dayton, Ohio. And Dayton, Ohio, as I told Scott, has more local programming than New York, and they have less to showcase. And there's so much to showcase in this area. And so the more we have shows like yours, the better. So I hope people support the show.
We're going to get it out there.
Thanks
We're going to
so
get
much.
it out there. Our pleasure. Our pleasure.
We're
Thank
back.
you. Thank you. So here we go. Second set of music. Go get them, guys.
It's the wrong time, the wrong place. Though your face is charming, the wrong face is not her face, but such a charming face. That's alright with me. It's the wrong song in the wrong style. Though your smile is lovely, it's the wrong smile. It's not her smile, but such a lovely smile. That's alright with me. You can't know how happy that women are strangely attracted to you. I'm trying hard, so hard to forget. Can you forget someone to it's the wrong game, the wrong lips, though your lips so tempting, they're the wrong lips, they're not her lips, but they're such tempting lips, and it's so nice you're free.
Thank you for joining us tonight. This is the first Carousel show that we've done on a remote location. It'll be the first of many. Thank you for joining us tonight. I hope you enjoyed the music. I hope you enjoyed listening not only to the music, but also the story of the musicians that are working here and the owner of Wilton Pizza. As you can hear in the background, come to Wilton, Connecticut every Wednesday night from 6 to 9. All you have to do is leave your windows down as you're driving towards Wilton Center and just listen for the music. Hone in on the music and come on and join me. I'll be here next Wednesday. Thank you so much. Enjoy your evening. We'll see you next time on Carousel.